Welcome back for another episode of Branching Out with Sierra. In today's episode, I am going to be joined by Robert Fulcher, and it's a very exciting day as we're recording the episode because Robert Fulcher is also one of our speakers at the Tri-State Leadership Summit, which is live today, open for registration. So we had already had this planned for recording today and had no idea it would happen to be the day that the Tri-State Leadership Summit registration went live, but we actually had him scheduled today to come in and talk a little bit about AI, which will be discussed at the summit, but also a little bit about team dynamics and what we need to do to make sure we are AI ready, future ready. So today's episode is entitled, Are You AI Ready? Why Tech Alone Won't Save Your Team. So we can't just jump in and start using all these tech tools and think that it's going to fix everything behind the scenes if we're having challenges with communication, with task completion, with accuracy, all of the different challenges that might come up. So today I've invited Robert to come in and chat a little bit about that, as well as his background in technology. So welcome to the episode today, Robert. Thanks for joining, coming all the way down to Winchester.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Well, our listeners don't know you well just yet. Can you give a little background, where you're from, what led you into technology, and where you are in your business today?
Well, I'm originally from Kentucky. I'm a big Kentucky Wildcat fan. But I moved to Pennsylvania when I was very young, graduated high school there, and went to Shippensburg University and got my master's there, and then started working at what used to be Summit Health in IT, and was there for about 13 years before I went out on my own. So what got me into technology really was one day my father brought home a computer and gave it to me as a present, unbeknownst to me. And I just loved IT ever since then. I was like one of the first people that ever turned in a printed book report at school.
So cool.
You know, so I would always type up all my homework and all that kind of stuff on the computer and turn it in just because I had the computer. I loved it ever since then. It was an old leading edge amber monochrome monitor, and no hard drives, no nothing. So
that is so
yeah.
cool. I love that story. It is so funny. I think we're exact opposites. My family might have been the last one to get a computer, and I love typing on the typewriter. And that was an experience, and I would submit everything on the typewriter, which is so funny because there's a little age difference here too. So
yeah, you're right.
Well,
yeah,
that tells you something.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that's really cool. So now you are the founder, the owner of iWatt LLC. Yes. Tell us about iWatt, a little bit about the services you provide, and honestly, I like the story of how iWatt, the name, came to be as well.
So originally, I kind of was like, hey, I'd like to do something that's more of what I love to do, like baking, confections, candy, things like that. So I started a company called I Want a Treat. And I started trying to, get some baking and some customers from that perspective. But every time I walked away from that, I always got more times than not, I got an actual IT customer. And so I was like, well, good grief, I guess God's telling me something here. So I was like, well, I'll test the waters. I'll start I'll truncate the name. Instead of I Want a Treat, I'll just make it IWAT. Kind of sounds techie. And I'll start kind of going that route. And next thing you know, it just kept going. I kept getting customer after customer. So it was amazing. But,
It's cool how it landed. I think about it every time I say the name. Well, also because I remember the initial conversation about 1T versus 2, and you think watt, like WATT, but it's one. So I assume people probably ask you about the name once in a while.
It comes up kind of often, because I had our original articles of incorporation was all I Want a Treat and all that stuff. And I mean, I had employees who were getting paychecks and they were all I Want a Treat paychecks for several years. And I was trying to get contracts, and they were like, well, you can't put a DBA name on here. You have to give your actual corporation.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy. Okay. I'm writing I Want a Treat on things, and I'm sending them to people, and they're like, what is going on here with this? And I'm like, well, that's, then I have to tell the story. So there's still some lingering paperwork out there that I have to deal with that says I Want a Treat on it. So it comes up sometimes.
That's so cool. What a cool story. Okay, so obviously we're here to talk about leadership in the background too. I like to ask my guests when they first saw themselves as a leader, was there a specific time where you started to see leadership qualities? You knew that you wanted to lead a team?
Well, no. So I didn't really, I was asked to lead a team first.
Okay.
But in looking back at it, like people would always come to me for help. Even my fellow coworkers, they would be like, hey, I can't get this to work. Can you help me with this? And so I would always be helping them out and leading them along from that perspective, when they had problems and issues. And so I was always the de facto person that people would come to, when they had issues and stuff like that. And so I think after that, the people who were above me were like, well, everybody goes to Rob, so just put Rob in the management position. They'll just go to him and he'll take care of everything for us. So that was pretty much it, right? So I was like, hey, we need someone who just solves all the problems. He's the guy. Put him there. So that's just what I do.
It's so common. It is so common. Then I end up coming across so many people who find themselves in a leadership role. They maybe haven't had any management or leadership training, period. They just had this wonderful skill set associated with the industry they were in, and they're problem solvers, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's your story too.
That's my story, and I always say, like, you want to be the most useful person in a company, just solve all the problems.
Yeah.
And just keep focus on problem solving, and you'll be indispensable.
Yeah, well, that's true. So thinking about the upcoming summit, which I'm very excited about, and thanks for all your help. The website looks great. When people check out the website, that is Robert's team's creation. Thank you for all of the work on that. Can you give us a little preview, just a little preview of what you might be talking about at the summit?
Well, a little preview would be talking about all the wonderful ways that you can use AI and all the things that I started to collect out of using AI personally and also helping others using AI. I think that's a good starting point because most people look at it and be like, what am I supposed to do with it? But if I can give everybody in the audience one good example that sparks their usage of AI, that meets my goal. They would go back, they would start to use it, they would then be able to be more productive in their business life. So that's really what I'm going to do my goal is to give every single person a good example that could help them.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. So obviously you work with a lot of different organizations. You're seeing a lot of teams that need support with technology. How big of a topic is it when folks are reaching out for support from your company right now? How big of a topic is AI?
It's a pretty big topic. It's really starting to ramp up a lot now. Just people asking to want to talk to me about how they can use AI. But in the normal support day to day, it doesn't come up as much. But people are like, hey, can I use AI for this or for that? Or So it is starting to come up a lot on a daily or weekly basis.
So did you see this coming down the pike?
I did, but I didn't. I actually kind of thought people would really start using it a lot more on their own. I'm very surprised at the people who are just like, well, I don't know what to do with it. And it surprises me a little bit. It's good for me. I've got something to do and show them how to use it. But I'm surprised at the lack of people who just didn't automatically go to it. I don't know if they're scared of it or just like, I'm too busy, which is what I think most of them are. It's like, I'm way too busy to figure out how this is supposed to work.
To learn a new tool.
So I'm going to just continue doing it the way that I did it before, and I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing too. I mean, I suggest using AI to all of my clients when they're talking about they don't have enough time. I'm like, well, you have a free employee that could be taking some of these things off your plate. And I use that filter of, here's my list of tasks. Which ones need to be me? Which ones could AI do? And that comes before Erica even. Like, could AI do this, or do I actually need Erica to do this? Do I need the human element here, or can she use it to get herself started? So I know that I recommend it all the time, and the folks that lean into it are very excited very quickly. But I've had people reach out, and they will actually have Erica run their AI for them and send them the responses and the documents so that they don't have to use it.
Oh, wow.
Well, there you go. There's a whole service right there. You need to branch out, Robert, and people can reach out to you guys. You can just run their whole thing for them.
Yeah, we will be their
Yeah.
AI hands.
Yes.
There you go. I can't believe people don't do that, but okay, I'll do it.
Yeah,
that
I
sounds
mean,
great.
there's a need. Why wouldn't you fill it?
Absolutely.
So anyway, I find it very interesting too. And there's the folks that are nervous about their information being out there.
Yes.
Which I don't mean to say that with a smirk on my face, but your information's already out there, friends.
Yeah, I mean, the likelihood of you putting something new out there or someone finding what you put into AI is very, very low. Yeah. Very low. But I still wouldn't suggest it for some tasks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going down an AI rabbit hole for a minute.
Let's do it.
Okay. I recently heard someone I met at a networking event. She said that she had seen a presentation on AI, and obviously there's so many different types out there. And then there are ones that are going to store your information, and other people can then also access it. So if, say, for example, I am sharing information about my plans for my business with AI, that if people were searching for my plans for my business, and I've already taught this, that it is now accessible by anyone using that platform. Is that accurate?
Yeah, in a form that is accurate. But yeah, I mean, thinking about the next evolution of AI is how are businesses going to utilize AI to promote their business, right? So how do I get IWAT on there so that when someone is in Franklin County and starts to type, I need help with how do I fix this on my computer, that I get the AI to say, well, you can try this, this, and this, and at the last resort, give IWAT a call. They'll take care of everything.
Yeah.
So there are ways to do that and start to monetize that. Yeah.
So I have had friends specifically ask ChatGPT, how can I get you, ChatGPT, to promote my business?
Yeah.
And it will tell you all the steps to go through in order to be that recommendation. So I agree. And then there's others. My understanding is that it does stay private, and it's not a two-way. But what I've seen with those that I've tried is every new chat is like starting fresh and teaching it you all over again, rather than it retaining information where I might be able to say, please like refer to previous chats, and it's storing everything it knows about me, that every chat is restarting over again. So to me, that's a ton of time lost.
Well, it can be, but at times it can be an advantage, right? So yes, when you're using, I use ChatGPT as the one I use the most, and I branch out with Grok and some of the others.
Did you say branch out?
Yes.
Okay, good job.
And so sometimes I don't like the result I'm getting. And I know that it's referring to something else it's told me earlier in this chat.
Okay.
And I can't get it to not give me that result, right? It's being hard-headed. So I just open up another instance of it, another chat, and then I start fresh, and it will give me a totally different result.
Okay.
And I'm going down a new path because it's generative, right? So it's now, okay, it's taking this without any previous knowledge, and it's taking this one question the one prompt, and it's giving me something new. Okay, now we're starting from a new foundation. Go back to the other chat. I can't get it to where I want it to go because it's carrying all that other history. It started from a different starting point, and it's leading you somewhere way different. So
that's interesting.
Even though some people say I don't like that, but yet if you think about where it's hindering your results, then it's actually an advantage.
Fair. That's fair. So you mentioned, did you say Grok?
Yeah.
Tell me about that one. I've not heard of it.
Grok is Elon Musk's XAI.
Oh.
Yeah. So I normally
shows how little I know.
I normally have open, ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, and the Microsoft one.
Okay.
And I usually
is it Copilot?
Yeah, Copilot.
Okay.
That's it. So I usually ask many times the same question in all four of them, just to see what I get back.
What do you notice?
They're all drastically different.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Huh.
They're like talking to, if you called someone in Mississippi and asked a question versus Florida versus California versus Canada. They're all drastically different.
Wow.
You'll be in the ballpark. But a lot of times I talk about images. Images are a great way to show the differences in generative AI. You ask the same question in all three of those, and you will get nothing will look the same in any form.
Is there a platform that you think does the best images? That best align with what you want? People don't have 8 fingers, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Grok's relatively good. It does a good job. And the Dolly, which is owned by ChatGPT, does a really good job as well. But if you stick to those, there's some that are just purely image generation AIs, but I don't usually stick with those, unless I really need something that's specific. But yeah, I would say Grok or ChatGPT. The other ones can get you some really strange stuff. So.
Yeah, it has to be so interesting. Going back to time, I haven't had time to dig into all the platforms. Like once I know one knows me well, I'm like, okay, well, we'll stick with that for now. I did explore another one, but it was doing that whole reset. But I had taken all this time I used ChatGPT to output everything it knew about me so I could take that output and input into a different platform to save myself time. So now I have that document, which is a great document. It's like me in a nutshell.
There you go. That's good.
And it's like a nice little ego boost when you're not feeling great, Robert. You should ask ChatGPT like what your best qualities are.
Well, you just keep talking to it. It always tries to bring you up.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It really does. Do you say please and thank you?
I do.
Me too.
I treat my little chat bot like it's a friend.
Yeah.
I
Does
don't
it
know
have a name? Do you name it?
Well, I call mine Chatty.
Oh, yeah. I call it Chatty Cathy.
Oh, you call it Chatty Cathy?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very descriptive. I should probably come up with a better name, but it hasn't complained about its name yet, so.
That's good. Well, stay on its good side because you never know.
That's right. That's right.
We just don't know how it's going to come back to haunt us later. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more about it at the summit. I know that you've done some other speaking engagements about AI recently.
Yep.
I actually saw an email from Jocelyn this morning.
Yep.
What's going on there?
Well, she asked me to meet with her to go over it, and I said I will. And she said, "What about if we meet with a group of people?" I said, "Yeah. I mean, we'll get as many people as you want. Let's just do like an open forum. I'll do a little bit of like, here's some stuff that I think could be useful, and then I said, have them bring examples to the table, and we'll just run through them and just have a fun time. Going through all kinds of examples."
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, what are you looking forward to most about the summit?
I love working with people and giving them examples and helping them find something that furthers their education and ability to to use technology.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I guess going back to your why. Recently I was like, I really love sitting down and talking to people and hearing them say, I can't get this to work. This doesn't, my life could be drastically better if I didn't have this problem with technology, and I can solve it and fix it. It really does make me feel good that I've done that, and I that's why I love talking with the businesses and doing our quarterly business reviews and be like, tell me all your problems, just, and I'll help try and fix all of them that I can, That's exciting to me.
Well, that explains why that's such a great addition to this momentum package that we're offering now for the summit. So for those of you that haven't seen it yet, 90 days of support and implementation and action after the summit, which I think is a distinguishing factor for our event. I don't think it's very common. I don't see the support after the fact, so people actually make changes. But you're going to be providing a session after the summit to continue to support folks.
That's
so
right.
you're going to get to, fulfill your passion by helping them then.
They will have 90 days of access to me. And,
that's a lot of access.
Yeah.
Very valuable. Worth much more than $99.
Yes, it is. My time is very valuable.
Yeah. that's why I said that this that offering is... I couldn't even assign a value to it when I was trying to figure out what do we say? What is it worth? I didn't even put one. It's obviously worth much more. So thank you for being willing to do that after the fact. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So your business goes in and supports tons of organizations. What are some of the common tech problems that iWatt sees?
Oh boy, it's really across the board. Windows updates, people with problems, computers don't update, they get frozen. Internet outages cause all kinds of havoc now because, you know, well, their router didn't come back online correctly, or now, you know, all kinds of things like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the support is across the board, and it's all urgent because everything is in the cloud now. You know, and if they can't get to it, and Comcast is having a problem, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I would say, to sum that up, I mean, internet access is one of the most common problems that are really urgent.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like an emergency. You know, they can't, their business can't function without it. So the calls that you are getting are true emergencies for people.
They are. And, you know, I had a nursing home the other day that called, and they were having consistent internet outages, like 4 or 5 times a day. And so we found a product that we'd used multiple times, where it's a remote product that can just detect that your internet's out, and it reboots your modem all by itself. So hopefully that'll lessen that. But, you know, you can understand how frustrating that is when, you know, their phone systems and everything goes down. They can't do documentation and stuff like that, and they've got to call us every time. And we love doing that work, but it's much more productive to just show them or give them a tool that does it for them, you know, instead of having to rely on us in those instances.
I was going to say, anytime you guys can come to the table with proactive solutions, so there isn't an emergency later.
That's right.
But I have a feeling you're getting calls when there are problems, not getting calls of, we'd like to prevent a problem in the future.
That's right. So, but, you know, we always say, look, you know, if this happens a couple times, you know, we can put some stuff in place to prevent this, but, you know, it's got to happen a couple times before people want it or need it.
Is there any unique situation that iWatt has supported a client with, where it's not something you guys have typically done, but you got a call and you're like, okay, we're going to think outside the box on this one?
Oh, there's a lot, but what comes first to my mind is when we set a 90-foot utility pole for someone because they wanted to have access between 2 buildings with antennas, but they didn't have visibility. And I said, well, I mean, if you go up so high, you can do it. And they're like, okay. So we got a contractor to come out, set the pole, and we went up in the bucket truck and installed the antenna at 90 feet in the air.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the one that you shared at BNI? You brought a picture, and I feel like you had to paint something to match. What was that one?
So that was a ceiling inside of a restaurant, and they wanted to have a consistent look, but they had really dark, bronzy tiles, and we were installing speakers and access points and stuff like that. So we worked with the painter to install them and get them painted the right shade, and so that they blend in. And actually, I went in the other day to have lunch, and I was like, it was hard for me to even find them. I was looking for them to see.
I love that. That has to feel good to see it after the fact.
It does. And actually, thinking about that, we actually ended up installing cameras on a house once, and the wife came home and she's like, white? I'm like,
oh, no.
That's the normal color of the cameras. Yeah. And she's like, white won't do. So they ended up being brown.
Oh,
so
okay.
we took them down, painted them, put them back up, and they blended right in.
Didn't know you were in the painting business.
We are at times, yep.
No, I think that's great because we go back to problem solving. People come with a problem, and if you can offer a solution, it sounds like you're going to do it.
Yeah. And at that house where we painted those brown, we also dug a trench to install a single line to put a camera in the chicken coop so they could keep a track on their chicken.
I love it. Yeah. So you have all these unique ones.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of them. Okay, so general services that iWatt provides. I know you have a bit of a larger team. You have a lot of folks supporting you. What variety of services do you typically provide?
Well, I have to say we do all IT services. So, we do all that support, monitoring of people's devices, desktop support when they have problems. We will support their applications. So some customers are like, we need IT to support this specific application that we pay for. So we will be their IT, and we learn that program and help them overcome any hurdles or do upgrades and things like that. And we also do custom websites. We do custom applications. We do custom app integrations between applications when they want two systems to talk. I have a manufacturing system and a payment system, and I want those two to exchange data, and we'll write systems to do that.
Great.
And we also write mobile apps. Our most recent one, we are writing a mobile app to integrate to a custom circuit board, which detects cars and car movement. So it's a very cool app. So and
That is cool.
And it's getting ready to go live probably in the next 3 months. So,
very exciting. Yeah, and you're going to build an app for me in the future.
That's right.
Remember?
Yes.
I hope you haven't forgotten.
I didn't.
Okay. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the ability to have time to work on that.
Yes.
But with AI, I have more time now.
That's right. That's right.
So it's really freeing me up to do those things. In all seriousness,
yes.
In order for people to really tap into all the tools available to them, I think about the challenges that teams have behind the scenes that might prevent them from being able to benefit from all of these different tools. What are some of the challenges that you've seen, whether it's a team that, you're working with, an organization that you're going into, or even with your own team, that would prevent people from really being able to benefit from AI, for example?
Most of what I would see would be communications on what needs to be done, right? I mean, okay. I know a lot of times you guys talk about your mission vision, and things like that, and this is where we're going. But especially in my industry, I see a lot of this is the mission and the vision and where you're going with this individual topic. And the 5 of you need to communicate on this.
Yeah.
And when they don't, and they don't actually, have a cohesive team, all the things that they can do, could be in vain. A lot of wasted time. You can ask AI 100 things about all the wrong topics, and it's just not useful.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I noticed you said you can have a mission, vision, value, but I heard the but loud and clear, by the way. So, Sierra, what you tell us to do works, but we got to fix this problem first. And it's true.
Right.
It's accurate.
Yeah.
It's a part of getting people in alignment. And communication is such a broad topic. It's one of my favorites. But thinking about tools and communication, we also have a lot of people hiding behind the computer screen, right? And so we have a variety of, Slack messages. Do I get up and walk across the room? Do I pick up the phone? Do I send a message through a team platform? You know what I mean? There's so many options. So what I see with a lot of my teams is there's no consistency in how they're choosing to communicate. And they have all these platforms and nobody's receiving the message through the way they want to receive it.
Right.
So their response isn't timely, or they're just not reaching out at all, right? And they're not getting support from others. Do you see that too?
Oh, a lot. Handoff. When we do things, okay, well, I did my part. Now this person has to do their part. And they'll just be, okay, I'm done. And they walk away. And it's like, okay, well, that's not how you should hand these things off. Hey, this is what I've done. Let me explain to you what the concept was here, what you should look for as an output, and and all of that type of stuff, so that other person doesn't look at this and go, I don't know what this is doing, but I'm just going to give it a whirl.
Yeah.
So proper handoff and actually just communicating like, 2 normal humans would do, in my opinion, is key. It's very important. And I think it's missing because people just don't know that they should be doing it, I guess,
I think you're right. And so if you think about having a younger team and folks that maybe this is their first position somewhere, and if they haven't been taught these things, these professional behaviors, and how to communicate in a team setting. I don't know what group projects look like right now anymore in college. It's been a little bit. But I almost feel like some of those experiences aren't happening the way that they used to be. So people are coming and not prepared. They've been hiding behind a screen for a really long period of time. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I see a way less ability to actually communicate in a group setting effectively. I think everybody who looks at, well, I can talk to these people, I can communicate, but it's not that you can, it's how you are doing it. Are you really doing it the way that you should be doing it?
Yeah. Which isn't the same for everyone.
Right. And which isn't like I can communicate with this person at home or offline. That's a different style of communication. It's a different purpose than what you're doing at work, and you don't know what your purpose is.
Yeah.
You don't know why why should I be telling this person that? And I don't think that they know any sense of that at times.
So what do you do about it? Tell us, Robert. Have you tried anything in particular?
Well, I mean, I think mentorship is really where it has to come from. You have
Please
to
say the word that you said to me earlier.
I have to be a micro mentor. So
Instead of a micromanager.
Instead of a micromanager, that's right. I'm going to be more of a micro mentor to tell them, hey, this is how you need to communicate. This is what you need to do when you're done with this task. This is how you move it to the next step. Because I used to say that a lot. I used to say, look, what's next? What has to happen next?
Ask the question.
Right.
So they start asking the question.
Correct. So, but I have to really force it now. I think that I don't think I can just sit back and say, well, these people should do this, but they don't.
Are you process driven?
Yes.
Okay. So I find that SOPs are non-existent in so many different businesses, right? And it's a great resource to go back to and say, this is the way we do things around here. Here's the order in which we do it. Having templates, having the process laid out in a way that someone can pick it up as a resource is important, but they have to pick it up and refer to it. So then there's also the people who have them, but they don't refer to them or they haven't been updated. I think that that's such a valuable tool for what you're talking about, of being able to know what's next without someone prompting. What's next?
Yeah.
Right? Or you having to micro mentor for too long, Robert, because you have a lot to do.
I do.
But what do you think about the SOPs and creating processes and giving them the resource in that format?
I think my guys will tell you that I am always on them about checklists. They're probably always like, if Rob asked me to create another checklist, I think I'm going to die.
Checklist of checklists.
Yeah. I mean, but I do. When I'm like, hey, did you add this to the check? Did you use that checklist that we talked about 2 months ago to do that and stuff? And I think it's more than valuable. I think it's invaluable because I think it takes a lot of the human error out, which needs to be out, right? So like if there's 20 steps that you have to do to complete something, you're gonna forget. No one can remember all that.
Oh yeah.
So you have to have those, but you have to use them. And that's where the micro mentorship comes in. I'm gonna have to have my little belt of checklists that I can pull right out of my fanny pack, maybe, because I grew up in the 90s, so I can walk around the office with my fanny pack of checklists and make sure everybody has one.
I would fully support that, actually. But I was just, as you were saying that, I was thinking about your business specifically. People with tech issues are coming to you.
Yes.
Because they don't know how to solve a problem, which they need to follow a process to solve. So they're coming to you guys as the expert. And so you guys have to always know what's next.
Yes.
You are the resource for what's next. How do we fix this? So I feel like it's even more important for folks to understand the processes, know how to pass the baton from one person to another and make sure, the loop is closed, maybe than some other businesses. That's more pressure.
It is because everyone really looks like, well, you're the computer guy.
Yeah.
You should know what's going on. And we should.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to take all the variables out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, so many things could be wrong that, I don't even know where to start. So.
And I was also thinking about the delivery of the support, because you have people calling in who have no clue about tech. You have people calling in that actually know what they're talking about a little bit, and they've hit, a wall. And so people have to adjust how they're delivering it based on the person. Like today, your team was helping me with getting the phone set up. And I almost went like, because very helpful, right? This is a complicated process. If you need anything, just let's go through the steps together. I'll get you there. And I'm like, you don't need to come for me. I'm good. I promise. I've got this. I can find. You sent me the list of steps. I got it from here. But having to read that and know what level of support someone needs without being like condescending to the person who does know tech versus you guys really do have a lot of pressure. You must be stressed all the time.
I am quite a bit, but it's okay though, because you learn that is that's your job, and you have to. I stress with my people, like when the customer calls in, and whatever they say is happening, no matter how crazy it sounds.
Yeah.
Whatever that is happening.
Yeah.
Because even in my early tech career, I'd be like, I don't really think that's really what's going on. I mean, that can't be. And I'll tell you, every time I said that to myself, I would walk over and look at, holy cow, they're right. Now, I would never imagine that would happen. So I always tell people, like, just don't ever think like, hey, this isn't true. Like, yeah, it is. It is true.
Yeah.
Have that empathy and, and just be as nice as you can to then figure out exactly what it is they're saying. How does that relate to something that we can actually fix and interpret that?
I was thinking about when I take my car to the dealership and it's been doing something and they look at me as a girl especially and they're like, yeah, no, it wasn't doing that. So I come with evidence now. It's like, here's a picture, here's a video. This is happening. Don't tell me it's not, and it's not coming home until it's fixed.
Right.
Because they can't reproduce the issue.
They say they can't, right? They say
exactly.
they can't.
We've never heard that noise before. Tell us again what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So that's funny. That has to happen to a lot of people. It's not a Sierra problem.
It does. I mean, I want to have like a dozen microphones all around my car so that I can isolate the sound. Like, that sound right there. You tell me you can't hear that sound, but
that's so funny. Okay, so back to the original question of what could get in the way of people using all these tools that you're teaching them about, whether it's AI or other tech tools. It sounds like we need to get people to communicate more effectively, whether it's making sure that they have an understanding of their own processes and know who to go to when, right? When to pass the baton, what kind of information needs to be shared when passing the baton.
Right.
I think this is the high C in me. I'm going to talk about DISC. I think more information is better.
Oh, yeah.
So give me all the information and I'll sort through what I want. I would rather have that than not enough, which Matt gets on me all the time. He's like, you give everybody too much information. They don't need to know all those details. I'm like, well, it's better than not enough because now they can pull out what they want.
I think more is better. I think that's pretty important when you actually want to understand the whole context of what's going on. Because what if what you tell someone and they run into something that's a little bit of a bump in the road, and if they had more information, they would understand the context and be able to overcome that without having to come back to you.
Yeah.
But if you don't do that, then they're stuck and like, well, I've got to come back to you, and that could waste time. So to me, more information is the higher possibility that they can get to the end of what they need to do, sooner.
Well, and we want people to be able to take ownership of tasks and projects, right? So I think that's the other piece, is giving them enough information, telling them the level of authority they have in decision making, and when you actually need a follow up. Like, don't reach out unless there's a problem. I trust you. Take it, run with it. I want to give you enough to be able to do that, so I don't constantly have someone checking in or feeling as if they don't have the authority to make decisions.
And how much do they learn from getting that context?
Yeah.
And a general growth, right? Like, oh, I know this scenario, and I understand what's going on, and as a holistic point.
Yeah.
Now the next time I go to that person, they've done that before. They understand that I might not have to give them that much context for that same type of task.
You're a really great micro mentor. I'm like going to have to get you a badge or something. It just made me think of the coin.
I still have my coin. I have my coin. I'm still doing my Todoist. So I'm good. I'm still working on that.
Tell them about the coin.
Oh, that's my 1 month chip for accomplishing my growth goals of using a to-do program instead of using
your
my cards.
Memory, your
memory and my cards,
and your index cards,
and my index card. But as I was saying, that's why I was pausing, because I was like, I still have some index cards floating around, but I'm using my to-do.
Okay.
So like, I didn't abandon that process.
Okay.
I just augmented it sometimes with a backup system.
Okay. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. No, but I'm serious. Yeah. Just wait. You're going to have something that says micro mentor soon.
Okay.
So.
All right. Micro mentor.
I love it.
Yeah.
Don't anybody steal that term. It is Robert's.
Yep.
It's claimed already.
Yep. I'm going to have my AI register it tomorrow.
Yeah. So we have a segment in season 2 called Leadership in the Wild, where we are identifying folks in our lives, whether we know them personally or not, that have had a major impact or influence on us or the people around us. So who have you seen leading well?
I've really leaned into Dr. Charles Stanley.
Okay.
He's no longer with us. He was a pastor who did a lot of preaching and podcasts and things like that. And I feel like he was a very, very influential, especially to me and to some of the people that I've shared his podcast with. His podcasts are still out there. They're still airing them a lot. And I listen to them almost daily.
Wow.
In a very, very poignant. They're to the point.
Okay.
No mixing words and telling you what type of person that you should be.
Okay.
And it's applying, the biblical concepts to that. So I think it's very important to take all of the noise and just go straight to, like, really, what kind of person should you be on a day-to-day basis when no one's looking, when, what should you be doing at the core of your being?
I love that.
And it's very good podcast. I think people should check it out.
I would love to check that out. I've never heard of him before. I feel like I've been missing out.
Yeah.
All right. Consider it done.
Okay.
I'm completely changing who I'm selecting based off of what you said. I'm going to lean into a little bit of a theme. It's predictable. I'm a little predictable sometimes, but John Maxwell.
Yeah.
So that's, for those that don't know, that's who I got certified by. We call him Papa John. He's like the real Papa John, okay? When I was reading his 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth from my bed, on bed rest, when I had my second bout with Lyme disease, I just connected with that book more than any book I've ever read, because I'm obsessed with growth and constant learning, lifelong learning. And it really kind of gave me the strategies, the tools, the terminology to use to finally identify why I was so obsessed with learning and all the different ways that I could kind of expand my potential. And I don't know, it just kind of gave me hope for a better future, and I ended up getting certified by him. But he weaves in biblical principles, and so I really respect that too.
Yeah.
And written over 100 books, and I love all of them. I was joking recently that at some point he starts to repeat something he said in a previous book somewhere. I'm like, I remember this before. You've said that, John. You're repeating yourself. But I love that when he meets with us, his certified folks, he calls us his legs to his legacy. And he is so generous in sharing everything that he has to give us the tools that we need to, after he is gone, be able to continue to have an impact. And I just think it's beautiful that he is willing to do that and pour into folks. He's an older fella at this point, but he is still working hard to have an impact. So that's who I'm choosing this week.
That's good. That's a good one. I'm going to check him out a little bit more. I know the name. I've seen some of his stuff, but I haven't really dived into what his topics were. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So it's so funny because in my world of education, I didn't know John Maxwell. But now that I focus on leadership development, it's like, how could you not know John? He's the number one leadership guru in the world. I mean, this guy goes around to different countries and speaks on leadership. So, yes, you should definitely check it out.
Okay.
Another segment that we've been doing is our Leadership Unscripted. So, as you know, we get submissions from listeners, whether it's a question specific to leadership, a challenge that's come up. So, hopefully we can help our listeners with specific things. So, I picked one for today. So, the submission was, I lead a team of friends and it's getting complicated. Navigating performance issues, feedback, and accountability has become harder now that I'm managing people I've known socially for years. How do I keep relationships healthy while still showing up as a strong, fair leader? So thank you for that submission. I'm curious, Robert, how you would suggest approaching this.
Well, I would first try and make sure that everybody has some respectful boundaries, and try and keep their friendship, at home, work at work. And then, personally, I have worked with a lot of people who have been my friends as well. And I've tried to also not put them in a position to have that need to have to cross that respectful boundary too.
Yeah.
And looking at how I'm working with them, and, like if someone is spending too much of my time and they're my friend, and we really need to be working, then I would try and put myself in a position where that time can't be spent. It can't be abused. Mm-hmm. So I take that opportunity away at times in a tactful way.
That's really good. I like that. I feel like so many times problems can be solved by just explicitly stating what's going on, to be able to share with the individual, hey, I know we've been friends for years, and talking about what the boundaries should be, rather than not wanting to hurt their feelings by bringing it up or whatever it may be. If you just talk about it, it's so much easier for folks to respect the boundary.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I feel like it's avoided a lot of times. So I would definitely agree with that. I would say too, and this applies to everyone, friends or not, just being able to show that when it comes to, they were asking about giving feedback, navigating performance issues, accountability, the difficult conversations. I mean, you'd have those difficult conversations the same way with anyone, and that's coming out of a place of care and concern where I want you to be successful. It's more like a coaching conversation and helping them to grow. And so if you're coming alongside them and you're doing so consistently and fairly with every single employee, whether they've been a friend in the past or not, people aren't going to feel like you're singling them out or your relationship has changed or whatever it may be. I almost feel like you have a greater opportunity with the folks you've been friends with for years, because they do know that it's coming out of a place of care and concern, whereas others might not know that and might be a little defensive with feedback.
And if they're your true friend, they're going to make it easy.
Yeah.
If they're really your friend, they want things to succeed outside of work and at work and make it easy for you because they're your friend. They love you.
Yeah. I agree with that. So it sounds like for this person, if we're explicitly talking about those boundaries and we're doing the things that we're talking about and it's not working, Robert just said they're not your real friend.
That's right. They're
unfriend them.
Take their friendship away.
That's so funny. Well, thank you. That's great feedback. Hopefully that's helpful to our listeners. So we always want to close out episodes too with a branching out challenge. And that is just simply, what do you want to challenge our listeners to do based on something we've talked about today? So we've talked about a little bit of AI, other tech tools, how to be better communicators, have follow through, all of those team pieces as well. What do we want to challenge people with?
Oh boy. Well, my first thought would be challenge them with finding one thing that AI could help them with.
Okay.
That would be, that or something communicative, like talk to your staff a little bit more about each task that you're giving them.
Okay.
Expand that verbiage and see how well that affects them.
And explore micro-mentorship.
Yes, micro-mentorship.
You're going to have to write a blog or something about it.
The micro-mentor.
Yeah.
How to be a good micro-mentor.
Yes.
I
love it.
I'm going to start it.
You guys, you could publish it through iWatt.
Yeah.
It can be like a newsletter. We're just full of ideas today.
I think we hit a home run. I'm ready.
Too.
So.
I hope you're successful with this. Put me on your list.
Okay.
I subscribe.
All right. I'll put you on. You'll have to come and be a guest speaker on it sometime.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
We'll run scenarios. You can help coach us on how to be micro mentors and not step on someone's toes.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know that I'm always good at that part, but I try.
Okay.
I do my best. Thank you for being here today. This is a great conversation. Hope it's been comfortable for you. I'm looking forward to the summit. I think this is going to be big. I'm excited to seeing it next year and the year after, and seeing if you abandon me next year after having to work with me on this one.
I won't abandon you. I mean, it's been great. It's been a great experience. I've learned a
He's
ton.
lying.
Because I've never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's been an amazing avenue to learn new things and to apply, the tech skills to that different stuff. So I think it's going to be good, and I look forward to where we're going to pick to host it once it starts to grow. Where are we go?
We're gonna outgrow the Maryland Theater, where they need to expand, one or the other.
Maybe we'll just go to the park.
Yeah, wide open space.
That's right.
I mean, to be completely honest, Matthew and I were talking about it. As it gets bigger, the problem we're running into is we had to cap it at 200 because that's how many people we can feed in the ballroom.
Right. Yes.
So that's the reason the cap exists. So, like, what do we not provide lunch and say, hey, go out on your own and get lunch when we go above that? Like, I don't want to do that to people. So
No, that would
we've
be
got to
bad.
look at options. We'll take recommendations.
Yes, absolutely.
But I love that it's also that we say tri-state and it's more than that. I feel like Hagerstown's in the middle. So I want to kind of keep it centrally located as much as possible too.
Right,
But
yeah.
I'm excited to see all the folks come out from the region. And if you haven't heard from us yet, we are looking for sponsors. So we'll be
That's right.
sending out information, calling you as well. I told Matt this morning, I was like, well, I'm going to send information out, but I know I need to really call people.
That's right.
So we've got to start that. Let's get on it. We have some great
Okay.
sponsors already.
Yes.
We do.
I'm looking forward to making some of those phone calls and micro mentoring them into being sponsors.
I can't wait to hear all the ways you start using this word.
That's right.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. 3 months is going to go by really quickly. October 1st will be here before we know it. I do hope people take advantage of the early bird registration. It's only through the month of July. So August 1st, prices go up. So hopefully people are jumping on out. Maybe right now, maybe we will walk out of this room and check our emails and we will see that we have
full
some
of registrations.
Yes.
That'll be awesome.
Can't wait. All right. Well, thank you again. Thanks for making the drive. Maybe you can come back sometime.
Okay.
We'll see how much Matt has to edit out.
Yeah.
He'll decide
yeah.
if you get to come back.
Matt's he's gonna pull the trigger as to whether or not I'm out or not. Huh?
So where can people find you?
They can find us online at iwatlsc.com or 780 South 2nd Street in Chambersburg, and we visit all the locations that you would be at. So we make house calls, we make business calls. So just call us and we'll appear.
Actually, that brings up a question. I know we're closing out, but the fact that you can do things remotely
Yes.
maybe makes you open to clients outside of the immediate area. Do you have any clients outside of the area as well?
Yeah, we have clients all across the nation, actually, in different spots for different
I
things that we do.
figured.
Yeah,
So even if you're not in Chambersburg area, feel free to reach out.
that's right.
Robert's team is great. I've had the pleasure of working with them, and I do love them dearly.
Thank you very much, and we love you dearly too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for sticking through to the end of the episode. I hope you found value in listening in a little bit today about AI and technology, as well as the things that we need to have in place before we even use these tools. I hope that you guys have liked and subscribed so that you are getting the notifications every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time when we drop another episode. We would love to hear from you, whether it is a submission for Leadership Unscripted or if you want to be a guest. We would love to hear from you as well. You can shoot us an email at info@branchingoutpodcast.com. Until next time, keep branching out.